welcome to Torchlight Paranormal. I'm your host, Kieran. Thank you for joining. Welcome to part 2 of us going over our footage from the Ostrich Inn Revisited investigation. This is part 2. More things happened in this part of the investigation than happened in the first part, so it's got quite a lot to go over. So without further ado, before we get started, if you enjoy this video and you're enjoying these revisiting at our old investigations, then please consider smashing that subscribe button. Support the channel where you can. Any support you guys can give would be very much appreciated, even if it's just a like for the video, thumbs up, or just telling your friends about it. Just support us where you can. So without further ado, shall we get started? Let's go. Continues on straight away, pretty much as we are just finishing the glass divination.
Okay, here we go, the circle a wee bit. Can you see how much?
So we did split up into 2 teams in order to do this next investigation, next vigil, I should say. So myself and the guests, we did an experiment with scrying, which you'll be able to see in a second, and also Andy, Jess, and Candice and the manager of the pub went down into the basements. Now the basement was very, very loud, not enough opportunity for them to actually do a proper vigil, but enough for them to experience it at least. Let's check it out.
Lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's nice and cool. Oh, this is cool, isn't it?
Obviously there's a lot of noise, and mind this red pillar, everybody.
Oh, the beam, yeah, okay.
Yeah, mind the red beam, because you will hit your head.
Right. Okay.
Move the fans in there, keeping the beer nice and cool. Okay, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to get into a nice comfy space.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, if there's a spirit person here, could you try and manipulate Rachel's image on the reflection?
I wanted to include this piece, this piece of footage into the investigation to prove to you that nothing always happens on investigations. All these videos that you see online of all your big named YouTubers and all this kind of stuff, who are screaming, running about at everything that's going on. 9 times out of 10, an investigation is you sat in the dark room doing absolutely nothing, and nothing is happening. So that's why we always included parts of our investigations where nothing happened, just to give you an idea that nothing happens. For this investigation in particular, we got there about 10 o'clock when the pub closed, and we left at 1 o'clock in the morning. We were only there for 3 hours, but that was enough time because it was a very small location for us to conduct a investigation thoroughly and for us to conclude that with the evidence that we had found. So there was things that didn't happen. We did go through a whole period of, like an hour where nothing happened at all. So why not include that to show what investigations are really like?
In the mirror to try and show yourself.
So the idea with scrying, it goes back, way back into the Victorian era, where they would use black mirrors to try and impose the image of the spirit onto your face. The idea being that you have a candle and you're staring at the mirror. Now, the reason we did this was not because we believe in the whole spirituality of the paranormal. We don't. We are very scientific in the way that we of our thought process. We did it because nothing was happening. We thought, well, why not just give it a try? Also, we had quite a few guests with us. We had 4 guests, and I thought it might be quite nice to give them an idea of the different ideas and different ways of investigating. So that's why we did the glass divination, and we also did the scrying. But the problem with scrying is, as your eyes are settling on an image in the darkness, your eyes start to play tricks on you, and it does look like your image is changing. And it was something that we did with our first ever visit to the Ostrich Inn. So we thought we would try it again, see if we could replicate anything that would happen. So what you're going to see now is the footage from the scrying experiment. We feel that something changes, and you can kind of see it on the camera. Is it just the power of suggestion because I suggest that something is happening, or is there actually changes? I don't want to say for sure. I'll leave it up to you to decide. It's not my place to say whether or not this is real or not. But have a think and let me know what you think in the comments below.
Through the camera, I don't know if it's just me because the light of the night shot, but sorry to say, it looked like an old man.
I know it does, doesn't it?
I don't know if anyone else can see that at all. Can you see that in through the screen of the camera? Just how the reflection looks slightly like an old man. Don't know if that's just the way the lighting is. If that's you that's trying to superimpose your image onto Rachel's reflection, can you try and do it so we can all see it? Try and make it more defined.
And was it a window or?
No, just can't work out what it was. No. Tapping noises.
I have some coin here.
This section here, we had kind of starting to reconvene, starting to get back into doing a big group vigil. Andy, Candice and Jess had gone to one part of the building with the manager, and we were into the other part of the pub. Now you will be able, they will be reacting to things, they will be saying they're hearing tapping and stuff, and at first you might not be able to hear it, but it will get better and clearer a little bit later. But please just listen out for it. It's also really important to note that on this night, this was done around late August this time, so it was warm. It was a warm evening, but it was wet and it was raining really heavily outside. So we have to play that into account. What happens next is that it could have easily have been weather affected, but let's watch it and you make up your own decision.
Do you want these coins? They're in this bag. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Did you hear that? That was tapping.
Yeah.
That was tapping.
That was
And that was right by me.
that was here. It was over here. It was along, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was definitely
goosey pimple.
tapping.
Ah, so you want the money?
That's my foot. You'll have to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, did you hear that?
Yeah.
So you can hear that tapping that's going on. First, you heard it quite loudly when Andy was filming the money on the table, and now you can hear it slightly with Jess talking. We believe that this tapping was coming from behind the wall of the pub, and the back of the wall connects to what's known as the Redcliffe Caves. Now, the Redcliffe Caves are a part of Bristol where the pirates, when they were smuggling in all their goods from the ships, would use the Redcliffe Caves to store their goods within there. They are said to be incredibly haunted, and we're just wondering whether or not the two could be connected. At the time, they were very, very loud. They don't sound very loud on the camera, but at the time they were very loud tappings. We do investigate a little bit further, and we do go into a little bit more thorough investigations with this, but we didn't have access to the caves, unfortunately, to go and check them out. But the caves were closed to the public, so there was no one in there. There would be no way for anyone to be inside the caves, and certainly being able to knock on the wall of the back of the pub, because it would have just been wall, stone, cave, so it would have been quite difficult for people to be able to tap on the wall. Now, that's not to say that it wasn't mice or rats. It could have easily have been, but this is just something that we did think about at the time, and I believe you do hear one of us say it could be mice. I think it's myself that said it could be mice, but certainly an interesting piece of evidence, and it continues for the rest of the evening.
Just nothing.
Now, what's behind that wall?
Yeah.
Do you know what's behind that wall?
That's the caves themselves.
That's the caves, is it?
Where's the cave?
Come Lise, take the camcorder a minute. I want to just try something out. Travelling from that end. No, it can't be.
No, it's too much for
It's so faint, isn't it? It's almost like
it is like a.
It's very,
it's like
very faint.
yeah, it's like
it's
like
definite.
that. We're hearing noises.
Oops. Here now.
We're getting
bugs
tapping,
tapping, yeah.
and it's in response to us asking.
Is there anything behind that wall? Yeah.
Well, Kieran, if you put your ear against the wall, now I don't know if it's that fan or noise travelling down the wall, but I can hear things.
That's the third again.
It's almost like scratching.
I don't want to be like pessimistic or anything, but it could be mice in the wall.
Yeah, sure.
Could well be, yeah.
But it is after
They was asking.
Yeah.
You hear
Is
that?
that you, Kieran?
No, that wasn't me.
You hear
Is
that?
that you, Kieran?
No, that wasn't me.
You hear
Is
that?
that you, Kieran?
No, that wasn't me.
Did you hear
It's
that?
definitely coming from here.
I thought it was there in the first place, and then it was there, and now it's back there
It's not a
again.
giraffe.
Are you stuck on the other side? You're trying to get our attention? Are you lost? Are you stuck on the other side? You're trying to get our attention? Are you lost? Are you stuck on the other side? You're trying to get our attention? Are you lost?
I heard a tap there.
Did you hear that?
It's here.
Yeah.
It is here.
That's
You got a,
I got a voice recorder
have
rolling.
you got a glass? A tumbler? Either if I go and get that glass.
Now, that EVP that we think we caught at the end sounds like "I'm still here." We can't guarantee that it wasn't a team member saying it, but the voice recorder in question was left on the bar on its own. Now, you just have my word on that. We didn't have any footage or photos to prove this, so you just have to take my word for it. But that's what we think the sound was. Like I say, there's no guarantee to say that someone didn't accidentally say something near it or close to it, so we can't really use that as evidence, hardcore evidence. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth did I ask for a tumbler at the end? Well, I was thinking because the tapping was coming through the wall and we could actually feel it through the wall when I was leaning up against it, I thought if I put a glass up against it, like the old school thing of listening through a glass to hear what conversations were being done throughout, in the next room, when you were like spying on your brother or your sister or your mum and dad listening to a conversation, I thought, let's try that and see if that works. And when I put the glass against the ear, I could hear the knocking a lot louder. So it kind of did work, but it didn't really work for the experiment, because you couldn't really hear the tapping overly clearly. Now, as you saw in the video, it was quite loud. Now, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. It's not my place to tell you what is real and what's not, but this is our evidence to show you what happened. Let us know what you think about this investigation down in the comments below, and give us your thoughts and opinions about what you think has happened in this investigation. Now, this wasn't our most compelling investigation. Our most compelling investigation I'm going to be looking at next. So join me next time when I'll be looking over the investigation of Breen Down Fort. But for now, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.